Hey everyone, it's Christine from Indigo Healing. Today's reading is a little different. I've done something a little similar to this in the past. I am doing a reading of masculine and feminine energy and a reading of the energy for the union, looking at blocks, ways to move through the blocks, and then just taking a brief look at the near future. This is not the weekly reading. The weekly reading probably come tomorrow because I am super tired. I don't know if it was that eclipse and the blue moon. I've been a little under the weather. I don't know what it is. I just don't have it in me to do both today. So I decided I was going to do this one first because I've been wanting to do it for a while. This is a general reading, so I hope it resonates with you. I hope it helps you out. If it doesn't, if it doesn't resonate, it's not the message for you. That's okay. Take what resonates, leave the rest. The intention that I set when I was doing this reading is that this is a reading for twins that are in a separation period. This is a reading that I did for the collective. It's a big population, so it may not resonate with everybody. But I did focus on feminine energy, masculine energy, and then the union. So, I just wanted to kind of get a read of what is going on, and then tomorrow I will do just the my general weekly twin flame. And I think I'm going to focus the camera on the cards for this reading because I'm so tired. I'd just rather you look at my hands and the cards instead of me today. So I'm gonna put the camera down and we will focus on getting the cards in the picture for you, and we'll go from there. So I hope that everybody is, now that we are several days past the eclipse, I hope that people that maybe weren't feeling so good as they went through the eclipse are feeling better. It definitely hit me hard. It zapped my energy for sure. I've noticed for me, for eclipses in general, I get very, very drained. But I also think I might have gotten a cold for my kids, so it's kind of hard to tell. It's also that time of year where everyone's getting sick around here, so I never really know if it's something that's metaphysical or if it's an actual illness. So just kind of go with it. Okay, so I think I have these in here about as good as I'm gonna get it. And of course, I'll always show you the cards. So, really, as I went through the energy, there were really not any surprises. Echoing a lot of what I'm hearing in the twin flame community, what I've been talking about for a while. I'll start with the feminine. So the energy of the feminine, we have third eye chakra, we have dedicated effort, and then we have success and growth. And the success and growth, the way the cards are, this card is facing this person who's in the dedicated effort. This card is facing away from the masculine's cards, And, what I'm getting from these is that, the feminine is really opening her eyes, or has opened her eyes. She's seeing the truth I feel like the truth has always been there. It's just how much of it did you allow yourself to see, or how open were you to receiving it? How open were you to receiving it? Because I know I'm not the only reader out there that has been saying things along these lines in terms of the feminine energy needing to focus on herself and her life and the things that she needs to do. And I just feel like, more and more and more of the feminine are having that aha moment of, okay, yep, either this is what I've got to do, or I started doing it, and they're seeing the success and growth. Like, they're seeing something, and I like with this card that, you're either seeing the growth, some of the leaves are bigger than others, but then some, they're just budding. They're just starting, but everybody's kind of at some point where they're seeing it start. And it's like, I feel like feminine, you just need to see a little bit of how it gets better when you focus on yourself and you put the effort into yourself instead of chasing a union or chasing another person, to keep going and keep putting the effort into yourself. And it's like you're just you're finally seeing. That's so good. It doesn't mean that this isn't a challenge for you. This isn't easy. And at times can really, I think you can have some really difficult feelings around this, but I just feel like you finally see, and that's where you're at. That's the energies right now. And the clarifying card I pulled is the Six of Wands. So it's confirming everything I talked about. This is, you're seeing victory. You're seeing this all work out in your favor. You're seeing the rewards of your hard work and focusing on yourself. So the energy for the masculine is not the same. We have, for the masculine, we have darkest fears. We have joy and stability. And then we have rebuild. And so, in traditional tarot decks, this is the Tower. And, these are pretty, opposite ends of the spectrum here. That the masculine's clearly out of balance. If they're going between their darkest fears and then joy and stability. And I think that, some of this is, they're feeling like, some of their darkest fears is that they will never reach a place of joy and stability in their lives. I don't know how many of you, and I think that for the most part, the people who watch these videos are the divine feminine for the most part. And I don't know really if any of the divine feminine can say that their divine masculine counterpart is in a place of joy and stability. And I don't know that really any of their divine masculine would say they're in a place, I don't think they themselves would admit that they're in a place of joy and stability. They try, they want to be, but they're not. And I think that, you know, they are in this place of like, am I going to be stuck in this cycle forever? You know, and it's like, I feel like they're realizing that, you know, they're having that tower moment. You know, some of them might be having like a real tower moment where there is like something life-changing taking place for them. Something huge is happening. But for some of them, this is just like, it's their aha moment where they're like, something's gotta give, something's gotta change, because I don't want to live the rest of my life chasing peace, you know, and not being happy, not living a life that I'm happy with. And I do feel like that's a really big fear that they either have or they're facing, they're dealing with in some way, shape, or form right now. And you know, I think that for those masculine energies that are just having that realization but don't know what to do with it, it's really, it's messing with them. It's messing them up. You know, I mean, you know, and it just, if you can think about it, you know, can you imagine you've lived your life a certain number of years, especially if you're somebody in your 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, and you're still chasing a life of peace, happiness, stability, and you just don't see it in your future. Like, that could for some be, what's the word I'm looking for? That could be paralyzing. You know, that the fear that you may never have what it is that you truly desire. So, and I pulled a clarifying card, and so I got the Page of Cups in reverse, and the message I'm getting here is that some of what's going on with this is that I feel like there's bad news or message. They received some sort of message that they took in a negative way. For some of them, you know, they're maybe emotionally immature, you know, and that some of this is, you know, revolving around emotion or love. And then I'll do the future energies. I'm going to do that totally last. The overall energies of the union, I got manifest, daydreams and decisions, and then I got feeling alone. And, you know, I think that, you know, what the overall, like, union energy is right now is that, you know, again, and I feel like this is a conversation that comes up a lot, you know, and especially that being an 11 year, the union has the, what is the word I'm wanting? The potential to be whatever we want it to be. It can develop or crumble however in whatever way we create, really, because so much of this is about manifestation, especially in a manifestation year as powerful as this year. And I think a big piece of what's going on, you know, and I think this is for the, you know, specifically for the energies that this reading is for, that I tapped into, you know, this card, daydreams and decisions, you know, I think you don't really know what you want. Like, you think you know what you want, but you don't. You know, or you get a little bit of what you want, but it's not, you want more, or you deserve more, or you deserve better, or, you know, it's, there's, you don't really know what you want. And you're in this limbo of kind of being undecided about where you want to go and what you want to do, and the universe can't really give us what we want if we don't really know ourselves what we want. And so many of the feminine, you think you know what you want when it comes to this union and it comes to your twin flame, but I really think when it comes to putting pen to paper and actually doing it and living it and your life changing, you know, you might not be as ready as you think you are, and I think, you know, that might be very deep down, things you're maybe not aware of. Maybe you are aware of it. I hope I'm not hitting a nerve too hard for people, you know, but it's like you're manifesting things, you know, if things are not coming together in a way that you are comfortable with, maybe it's because that's what you're showing the universe. You know, you're showing the universe indecision, and so you're getting indecision. You know, maybe deep down you don't want things as they are, or the way they are being presented to you, or, you know, what the other person's willing to give. And so that's what the universe is giving back to you. I don't know if that makes sense. And then the other card, feeling alone, and I think that's, you know, pretty indicative. You know, if you're in this situation that where you are in a separation period, if you're not communicating, you're not speaking, you know, if you're in this daydreams and decisions, you don't know what you want, and if you don't know what you want and the universe is giving you more not knowing what you want, yeah, you're gonna feel alone. It's gonna be tough. But you have to remember, with this feeling alone card, you're not really alone. You know, you're standing out on that cliff. There's somebody in that cabin. There's somebody there. All you have to do is make the move and go down there. You know, you don't have to be where you're at. So, you know, but I feel like, you know, with this moon here in this card, I feel like the feeling alone may be subsiding a little bit. I feel like that was probably amplified this week with that lunar event that we had. And then the clarifying card is the Five of Swords. And, you know, I almost feel like, you know, one of you or both of you maybe feels like you, I don't want to say won a battle, because if you can see, I'm trying to show you this card without the glare. You know, you've got this guy here, and you've got this guy walking away, his shoulders are down. You got this guy, his shoulders are down, he's walking away. There were 5 swords, and he's picked up the 2, and he's got the 1, he's looking over his shoulder, and I just feel like he's got this energy of like, haha, I won. Look at you, with your shoulders drooped, walking away. I'm the victor. But it's almost like I have this, like, he hasn't picked up the other swords, and it's almost like he's got this, like, yeah, I won, but did I really win? What did I win? I won swords. Like I won these swords and I don't know what to do with them. You know, there's this water in the background. You know, water in the tarot is emotion, and so I feel like there's a lot of emotion tied up in this card, and conflict, and, you know, and I feel like this is representing, you know, this clarifying card, that there needs to be, you know, like, don't walk away with your swords on, you know, leaving your sword on the ground. Like, go get your sword. Not to fight, but even to just, you know, maybe clear the air somehow, or like take charge of your own destiny. Like, you don't have to be the guy walking away without their sword. You don't have to be the guy standing there collecting the swords, because like, nobody in this card is happy. Like, everybody's bummed. Nobody feels good. You know, and that's like the clarifying energy I have here, is like, nobody's feeling good right now. So if nobody's feeling good, why are we here? Why? You know, there's got to be something better than everybody feeling the way they are. That's just all the stuff that's coming to me. Okay, so for the feminine, the next question that I asked were, what are the blocks currently for the feminine? And the cards that I got the Four of Fire, I got the High Priestess, and then I got the Ten of Air. And so with the Four of Fire, and then with the High Priestess, right away, you know, like at first I was like, well, that's kind of weird for the block, but then I realized, I'm like, you know, feminine, I think part of what is blocking some of you, so the Four of Fire, this is like, you know, a happy, content home life, joy, peace, contentment, marriage, relationship, family. Like, this is like everything, you know, this is one of those cards. You know, this is a card of everything working out. But I feel like I feel like what's happening here, and then, you know, we have the High Priestess, which is, you know, following your intuition, you know, really thinking about things before you act on them, you know, carefully making decisions, being patient. And the message that I got with these cards is that, feminine, I feel like you have a very specific idea in your head of what you want your Four of Fire to look like. And I feel like, you know, the High Priestess, your intuition is telling you that that's not a great, that you shouldn't do that. You shouldn't be making these decisions before they happen. Because when you decide these things, when you put these thoughts and intentions out there, what you're doing is you're almost preventing the universe from giving you something better. Like, you ever, you know, when you're manifesting something or praying for something, you know, heard the term this or something better, you know, you ask for the this or something better so that you're not limiting the universe to any possibility, right? So, like, if you have your Four of Fire all planned out in the details, which a lot of females do, you are limiting the universe in providing it to you. You know, you have no idea what you could be missing out on. And I feel like you, deep down, you know that. You know that you need to be patient and let go of the outcome, you know, the expectations and the preconceived ideas that you have in your head. You need to let go of these things. And I know that can be, you know, especially if you've had these ideas and you're looking into the future and you're expecting it to look a certain way, it can be really hard to do that. But then we have the Ten of Air. And so the Ten of Air, you know, this is telling me that, you know, you can change this. You know, you can do this. You can change this, and things will get better. Like, you can move through this block. You know, the Ten of Air can even be recovering from an addiction. And like, if you have your heart set on your future looking a certain way, and like you've set your mind on that, like that's, or like even how many of you think about your soulmate or your twin flame, your divine masculine, a lot, like to the point where, you know, you might consider it obsessive thinking. You know, Ten of Air, recovering from an addiction, you know, working on changing your thought process, you know, so that you don't have that pre-planned idea of what your 4 of Fire is going to look like. You know, or you can start with something as simple as this or something better, and kind of change the wording, change your mindset, and break free of that. But it's going to get better. So that's the block that I'm seeing for the feminine, which I thought was really interesting. And then the next question that I asked was, you know, how can the feminine move through these blocks? And the advice cards here are show simple acts of kindness. And so I feel like the advice is kind of saying, you know, if you find yourself getting stuck in these patterns of thought, you know, go do something, you know, go, you know, start thinking of little acts of kindness, or little things that you can do that will get you out of that that headspace. And then the other piece of advice is embrace your emotions. You know, and this card is about not pushing down your feelings or judging your emotions. So like, you know, give yourself grace when you find yourself in this place. You know, don't judge yourself for this. You know, just move through it. And that's why I made the suggestion of, you know, when you're thinking about the future and how you've planned it, add on this or something better. This or something better. Because, you know, then that gives the universe a lot more to work with, and you're not limiting yourself. So what blocks is the masculine facing? And the cards that came up for the masculine, which I feel like this came up recently, we have Justice, which I feel like the masculine is really feeling caught on, like he's very concerned about doing right by everyone. Like, you know, it's like he wants to be the hero for everyone in his life. And what's happening is the Four of Earth. This card is a card of extremes. You know, like it's pulling him out of balance, because when you're trying to be the hero to everybody, you know, and you're putting all your eggs in one basket here and then all your eggs in one basket here, what happens? You have no eggs to give other people. So like you're giving everything over here and then nothing over here, and you're out of balance, and it's you know, one extreme to the other for the people in your life, and it's not working. You know, it's not working for him, it's not working for the people in his life, and he's feeling, you know, he's feeling the pressure. And what's interesting, the other card that comes up is the Queen of Earth, and what stood out to me is the Queen of Earth. You know, there's a lot of qualities about the Queen of Earth, but the Queen of Earth is an amazing manifester. And I feel like some of what it goes on with the Divine Masculine, he brings on himself. And not because he's trying to, but because he's such a good manifester, and he worries and thinks things are not going to go well for him, that things don't go well for him. Or he's so worried about being the hero for everyone else, he doesn't put himself first. So guess who never comes first to anybody else? Him. So it's like he's just so out of whack because he doesn't come first anywhere, to himself, to other people. He's trying to do right by everyone else, and it's really blocking him from being able to move forward and do the things that, you know, he needs to do to make a better life for himself. And then the other card that I pulled here for the Divine Masculine and his blocks is the Five of Air. And so, you know, the Five of Air, you know, this is about learning what you can from the situation. But that's not what I feel like his block is about. I was immediately pulled to these yellow flowers on the card. And these flowers are yellow in this card because they represent the solar plexus. And I feel like a huge piece of what's blocking the Divine Masculine is that the things that are going on in their lives are things that take their power away from them or make them feel powerless or affect that piece of them in some way. And because of that, that's what's blocking them in a huge way, is that they are not using their own power. They are allowing other people to make their choices for them and allow and dictate how they live their life. They need to take their power back, is really like a big piece of what's going on here. So the next cards are, again, how he can move through these blocks. And the first card that comes up is Choose Love. And so, you know, I think that's kind of like a general answer, but I feel like what's written on the card here says you always have a choice as to what you should do. And I feel like that kind of sums up the issues, the blocks that the Divine Masculine is facing right now. They always have a choice. They can choose to stay stuck. They can choose to move forward. They can choose to take their power back, or they can choose not to. Choosing love will help them to move forward. And I do think that many of them will be able to move forward in that direction. It's just, you know, when are they ready to step into their power? And then the next card that came up here is Love Endures. Love does not give up or lose faith. Love is hopeful and withstands every situation. And so again, like, I feel like this goes to the manifestation piece, where like sometimes I think that they, you know, the feeling that I'm getting here is that they just like assume that things are not going to go their way and things aren't going to work out for them, and they have these types of thoughts in their head, you know. And maybe even like in regards to the Divine Feminine, like, you know, they're not good enough for her, or they can't provide for her, or like they don't have very good feelings about themselves, and that manifests crap to happen in their reality because they are such good manifestors, and they don't realize what they need to do is they need to believe in love. They need to believe in their love in order to move through that block. But you know, a key thing here though is, for the feminine, you can't have the faith for them. This is something that they have to do for themselves. Like, you can have faith on, you know, on your end for your own, but you cannot carry the union, and you cannot carry their faith and their stuff. I hope that makes sense. So the next card is what is blocking the union. And the first card that came up is the Nine of Air. And so there's a lot of, and I wasn't I just saying this with masculine? A lot of self-fulfilling prophecy, like expecting the worst to happen and then the worst happens. So like there's a lot of assuming bad things assuming things aren't going to work out and then they don't work out. So I think that, and then wasn't I saying that up here with the manifest card? Like being careful about what you're putting out there, because if you're not ready for this, if you're unsure, the universe is going to bring you more of that. So if you're worried about this relationship, you think things aren't going to work out, you're worried things aren't going to work out, guess what? Guess what the universe is going to bring you more of? Things not working out. So that's one block right there. The other block, so these 4 cards came out all at once. We have the Ten of Earth, we have Release, we have the Chariot, we have the Queen of Water. And so when that happens, like a lot of times I'm like, oh, this is going to tell me a little story that this is one of the blocks. Ten of Earth, this is a family, a marriage, happy home life. One of you, or both, has a relationship that you need to release or move on from. So you can, the Chariot, move forward. Queen of Water, with another relationship where things move to another level. This is a card of a relationship moving to another level. But this card cannot happen, the Queen of Water cannot happen until the Ten of Earth is released. Like, I couldn't have made that up if I tried. So the Queen of Water is you need to trust your intuition. If that is ringing bells for you, you need to trust your intuition. Now, I'm not telling anybody what they should do. I am not. But you cannot expect, like, duh, of course that's going to be a block. You cannot be in union. You cannot have, you cannot come together if that's your situation, period. And I'm not saying that to be mean. That's just, like, if you want to be friends and truly just be friends, like, of course, that's a different story. But if you want to actually be having a relationship, a traditional type of relationship, like, yeah, like that's just the way it is. Okay, so how can you move through that? So we have listen with your heart. So again, how I was just saying, this rings a bell. You really need to, this is a card about listening with your intuition, listen with your heart space. If this is speaking to you, listen with your heart and see what, see what it says next, Doesn't mean you have to act on anything, do anything, but to move through these blocks, listen again, and see what your intuition says to you, see what speaks to you. And then the next card is love makes the difference. Love can help heal past hurts and provides a sense of security, self-worth, and importance. And so I feel like, you know, I almost feel like this is a card of, you know, accepting where you're at and working on healing for you, yourself, your current relationship, you know, like, you know, and working on, you know, what has happened in your past that maybe you haven't healed, that might be blocking you from being able to move forward. So, okay, then we have the near future energy. And I pulled Healing Begins. So for some of you, I think you're going to address some of your blocks or work on them and try to move through them. And, you know, healing will begin. And then we have the Love card. And, you know, both of these are sixes. And so, you know, sixes, we have, you know, peace and harmony and cooperation. And, you know, I'm just thinking about where I want to say certain things. You know, for some of you, this healing is going to bring you, you know, like a unity within yourself, more of a union within yourself, you know, more of that balance of the masculine and the feminine energies within yourself, which is what you need to be able to move forward with the relationship that you want anyways. But for some, this could be a coming together. And you guys know how I am. You know I am so hesitant to say things like that because I just hate getting people's hopes up with like union imminent and stuff like that. You know, I think for some of you, this is going to be healing within yourself that's going to help you continue to move forward. For some of you, this is going to be healing within yourself that's going to help potentially bring you together. Will it be with a twin flame or will it be with a soulmate? I think that's going to depend on your own individual situation. I did pull some clarifiers here. We have the moon. So, you know, this is telling me that, you know, there's going to be things going on behind the scenes that, you know, you're just gonna have to like let go, like release the fears, release the ideas of illusions. Don't worry about it. Like let those things go. I do kind of, I'm feeling pulled to say that I feel like that this might be like towards the end of February, beginning of March, because this is the moon, and I always associate the moon card with a full moon. Why? That's just my personal association, and we're not going to have another one of those until March. But then we have the Knight of Cups. So someone's going to offer you their cup. They're going to offer their love. They're going to come to you with a gesture. And a lot of times this is like a sweep you off your feet, grand gesture of emotion, love, you know, some sort of offer. But remember, you do need to be careful with the Knight because they can be, you know, as quick as they come in, they can, you know, go out too. So, you know, try to stay balanced with your emotions. You did a lot of work to get to this point, so try to be balanced, but you should be okay. But there's going to be an offer. And then the next card that came up is the Ace of Swords. So, you know, a potential new beginning. However, you know, truth is going to be offered, revealed, shared. You know, it could be a challenging new beginning, which does not surprise me given type of dynamic this is, I would be concerned if it was easy peasy and all sunshine and roses, you know, but this is a new beginning. You know, so for some of you, there you have it. And then I pulled 3 more cards to just kind of keep with the cards that I was pulling, and to kind of wrap things up. So with this near future, I got practice compassion. So whoever is getting this offer, I feel like you are going to need to practice compassion. You're going to need to work on seeing things from a different perspective. I feel like maybe your patience is going to be very low, which I don't blame you, but you're going to need to work on that a little bit. Spend some quality time together, which makes sense. This card says it is imperative that we spend quality time with those we are in significant relationships with, listening and talking to each other. So, you know, it makes a lot of sense too if there is a rekindling of something that, you know, spending time together. That card is a 46, which breaks down to a 1, you know, another card of new beginnings. And then this card really got me. Actions speak loudly. Express your love through your actions. And so, you know, for those of you who do, you know, wind up with this offer, you know, you don't have to be all crazy, excited, go running back into anybody's arms. And I feel like this card came up for a reason, so that we could talk about that. You know, actions mean something. And I was watching a video recently, and I only caught a few seconds of it, but the few seconds that I caught, I loved what she said, because she was talking about, you know, when, you know, if your soulmate or your twin comes back, great, awesome, you know, don't get all excited about it. You know, if they come back, you know, oh, I love you and we're meant to be together and all this stuff and I'm so sorry and, you know, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, okay, show me. She's like, okay, that's really nice. Thank you for saying that. Show me. Words don't mean anything. Show me. And I was like, wow. I was like, wow, that's a good one. So don't be afraid to say that. Say it nicely. Don't be a jerk. But don't be afraid to say, okay, I'm glad you're here. Show me. So I hope that this reading was helpful for you guys. You know, I'm really excited for the feminine energies, because it definitely looks like you guys are moving in an awesome direction for continued growth and moving forward. And I really like seeing that for you. So I hope that that continues. I will see you guys very soon when I do the weekly reading. I'm sorry that is a couple days late. If you are interested in getting, oh, sorry, my kids are all yelling. If you guys are interested in getting a reading with me, please check out all of the information for my readings. It'll be in the description box below. And I think that's all I have for you guys today. I hope that you have a wonderful evening, and I will see you guys soon. Oh, you know what? I did forget something. So I will see you right now. If you liked this video, please hit the like button, subscribe, share. Please share my videos with people that you think would benefit from it. I would greatly appreciate it. I am going to be giving away a free Skype reading when I hit 2,000 subscribers, so make sure you subscribe. So, okay, now that's it. I will see you guys soon.